What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. We are going to get into this Valentine's Day soft glam right now. So I'm starting out by carving out my brows. This is my new favorite way to do my makeup. I'm starting with eyes first, and then we're going to move into the face. So I'm just running my concealer under my brows. I'm not going to fill my brows in. I'm just creating the shape that I want so I can start to do my eyeshadow. Transition shade. This one actually looks kind of pink in the pan, but on my skin it kind of came up as a little more tan, which is exactly what I wanted. I really wanted something very, very light and really close to my skin tone, just so that I can build up a transition shade to make my makeup look super seamless. When I like to do a soft glam eyeshadow look, I'm going for seamless and super blended. So I'm going to use colors that kind of are really close together, and I'm going to use multiple to make sure that the blend is really good. So after laying down that first color, I'm going in with this darker brown. It's like a little bit of a warmer color than I really wanted, but it's what I had, so it's what I'm using. And I am putting this above my crease because I have a lot of eyelid space above my crease. I want to kind of widen my eye, make my eye look a little bit bigger. So I'm placing that a little bit higher and blending it out. Now I'm going in with this darker brown shade, and I'm using this more pointed blending brush to still keep it above my crease, but you can see I'm kind of going in an angle up towards my brow to make the inner corner of my eye look a lot bigger than it actually is. And I'm just using windshield wiper motions and then circular motions to make sure that everything is super blended. Now on this tiny little pencil brush, I am taking the deepest color that I'm going to use, and I'm starting by patting it in before I drag it out. I want to make sure that the pigment is there, but I want it to be as blended as possible. And the best way to do that is to go back in with my other brushes. There's no additional product on this brush. I'm just using it to blend that deep shade out and make everything as seamless as possible. And then now that I'm doing it on the other side, I'm again using swiping motions and patting motions to build the color up, and then going in with the brush that I used before and blending everything out. Now once all of this is blended out, I am going to pick up a little bit more product and blend, but it's not a significant amount. So now I'm taking my concealer on that same concealer brush, and I'm not necessarily cutting my crease, but I am rebuilding my base because I want to use a really light shadow and I really want it to pop. So I'm making sure that I reset my base and blending it out with my finger first to make sure that there are no creases before I go in with this really, really light pink shade that it's just going to make it pop even more. And before that, this is when I actually picked up a little bit more of that brown color and I'm blending that in. So now I am just taking this pink on a flat blending brush and really just patting it into the concealer and building it up the way that I want it to. I know it looks a little bit white on camera, but I promise you it was pink and it was really, really pretty, and it just gave me exactly what I was looking for with the lid. And now this honestly helped really bring the look together. I am taking more of the brown shade, this I think is Brownie, from the OneSize Beauty palette, and I'm putting that in between the pink and the darkest brown just so that everything is super seamless. Everything really blends together and it looks really soft. You're not seeing any harsh blends, no harsh cut creases. And then this also looks white, but it is a pink, and I am going with that in the inner corner on a fluffy brush because I wanted it to be more diffused, and I'm also bringing it kind of up into where that pink was and making sure that everything is super blended. Now let's get into the face. Honestly, the face pretty much did like I normally do. Started with moisturizer, then going in with a primer and really just setting the skin up for success. And then once I'm done with primer, I'm just going in with my foundation. This one actually was the Haus Labs. I'm aware that the color is a little off for me. I need to get one of those like blue pigments that you put in foundations when they're way too warm for you. This is definitely my summer shade, and it is the dead of winter. And it's okay though. I'm gonna make it work. It's gonna look fine. Don't worry. This also was like comes across a little olive toned, I feel like, on my skin. So I've been figuring out different ways to work with this foundation and keep it looking okay, even though it's definitely off. But one of those ways is kind of counteracting with a different undertoned concealer. And so this one is a little bit truer to my skin tone. It still is yellow undertoned, but it's not as intense, I feel like, as the foundation. So when it all blends out, it ends up looking pretty chill. And so I'm blending that concealer out with the same concealer brush that I used for my eyeshadow. And I'm going to blend it out on my nose and then my forehead. When I'm blending out the forehead, I try to connect the eyeshadow, like the concealer base that I already used, to where I've placed concealer. And I'm just using tapping motions. I'm not swiping this. You never want to swipe your cream products or your liquid products. You want to tap them in. You are going to get the most seamless blend and most even blend from tapping it in. And then the thing that I carry it over from when I did my eyeshadow, every new color, I still went back to the old brush and blended it. I'm doing the same thing with concealer and foundation. Going back in with my foundation brush and blending the edges of my concealer so that everything is super seamless. And now that I'm going in to blend out my under eye concealer, I am creating a more lifted look, and I'm going to be like dragging that concealer out toward my temple. I really wanted that like pulled up, snatched kind of concealer look, but I didn't want it to be crazy. I still wanted it to be soft, so I don't want to use too much product, but I'm just dragging it up and out all the way to my hairline. And you'll see when my makeup is done, everything just looks like a little more lifted and a little bit more sculpted, and I love that. So for cream bronzer, I'm just going in with, this is the LYS Stick Cream Bronzer. I absolutely love this, and I'm just blending it out with this Sephora brush and making sure that, again, the name of the game is blending and seamless. And you want to just make sure that everything is blending with everything else. And that's how you're going to get the perfect soft glam, is just taking your time using patting motions. Do not swipe ever. Do not swipe. Just pat, pat, pat all into the skin, and it's gonna turn out great. Okay, and now for cream blush, I am going in with one of my favorites. Technically, this is a liquid blush, but I'm going in with my favorites. It's with the Juvia's Place blushes. They are insanely pigmented. I'm obsessed with them, but I'm just keeping the same techniques from all of the other things that I applied. I'm placing it down and I'm patting it, and I'm going in the same direction as the concealer and the bronzer. Now, I know that this has been all over TikTok, being super, super pigmented and people like not really knowing what to do with it. This is like a very easy way to work with this product. You want to go back in with your other brushes and blend everything together. I personally like to do the blush before I even blend out my concealer. That is one of the easiest ways to make it blend perfectly. So, and you see me doing that right now. I'm going back in and I'm blending out the inner portion of the concealer. Part of why I let that kind of sit to the end, one, is because I wanted to blend it on top of the blush, but two, I wanted to give that concealer a little bit of time to dry down so that I could get a little bit more coverage out of it. This Jouer concealer is very, very pigmented and you get a lot of good coverage, but with any concealer, let it dry down a little bit before you go in to blend it out, and I promise you the coverage is going to be insane. You see me here taking that brush and going over where the blush meets the concealer. That's what's going to give me that blend, and just back and forth between your brushes until you like the blend that you have. And here I'm kind of carving out the cheek, I guess, with my foundation before I go in, and now I'm setting my under eye. This is one of the first times I've ever set with a brush. I was going for like super soft and ethereal, right? But sometimes I notice when I set with a powder puff or I set with a sponge, I get too much powder for my liking. Even when I kind of get it off of the like whatever product, like tool I'm using, even when I kind of like really work it in, I still feel like I get a little too powdery. So I use just this regular eyeshadow blending brush, honestly, and I'm patting that powder in, and I actually really liked how soft and easy my face looked when I was finished. Everything was super, super simple, and just, I loved it. And then I'm going in with a brighter powder. I wanted a little bit brighter of an under eye, and so I am going to bake just a little bit with this powder. I usually don't bake, but we're doing Valentine's Day glam, so you got to go big, right? Now that I'm done baking, I'm just going to set the rest of my face with a powder. And then going in and touching up all of our cream products. So I'm going over my cream bronzer with a powder bronzer, and then after I'm going to go in over my liquid blush with a powder blush, just to make sure that everything is set and that nothing is moving. And now I really am going in and I'm carving out my cheekbones with powder just on a beauty sponge. And this is just going to intensify that like lifted look. And now back to the eyes, I'm just running that same deep shade underneath my lash line, and then I'm going to go in and blend it out. Nothing crazy. I think I do also use like a really light, it's not white, but it's like a champagne color eye pencil in the waterline. For myself, I really do like the way that it looks when you have that light color in the waterline to kind of open up the eye. It also, to me, intensifies any, if you're not using like super dark pigments, it intensifies that. Okay, I didn't realize I did all of these other things before putting the eyeliner in, but I'm just brushing off that bake, adding some more blush, doing a gentle nose contour. I love blush on the forehead too, it's super cute. Okay, now we get to the eyeliner. Sorry about that. I'm going in with this eyeliner. This one's by LA Girl. It's a metallic eyeliner, so it's gonna give me a little bit of reflect, which is really, really pretty. And then now I'm just gonna go in and do a wing. Nothing crazy, just your regular, everyday winged liner. And I think it just like brings a little bit of oomph, you know, like it's not soft glam without a wing to me. To me. Let me know if you guys want an in-depth wing tutorial, and I'll definitely make sure that I get that out. Now that I'm done with the wing, we're just gonna set the face with some setting spray, pop on some mascara, brush on, put on. We're gonna set the face, put on some mascara, and then we're gonna get into the lips. I'm using the LA Girl Shockwave Nude lip liners. I absolutely love these. They are so creamy and so easy to work with. I sometimes have a hard time with lip liner. I don't know why, but I struggle. These are so amazing. I absolutely love them. So I'm putting this around the perimeter of my lip and then kind of blending it in on the corners before I go in with this liquid lipstick. And then finally with a lipstick right in the center, I'm gonna like put my lips together, and then I'm just gonna take my finger and blend it out so that it looks super, super seamless. And I honestly like really, really enjoyed this lip combo. I felt like it was so pretty and fit the look so well. And that is the finished look. It is absolutely perfect for date night on Valentine's Day. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.